In the year 2453, humanity had spread across the stars, encountering numerous alien civilizations. Despite their advancements in technology, they faced ridicule for their choice of warship design. Commander Ethan Brooks stood on the bridge of the UNSF Harbinger, an unwieldy, cumbersome-looking vessel, often mocked by other races. Little did they know its appearance was a deliberate deception. The Harbinger had a blocky, asymmetrical design with seemingly outdated weaponry and armor. Its hull bore the scars of numerous battles, giving the impression of an old, worn-out ship. However, beneath its unassuming exterior lay advanced technology that only a select few within the United Nations Space Force knew about. The ship's AI, Athena, was state-of-the-art, capable of processing and reacting to battlefield conditions in real time. Ethan, a seasoned veteran with a reputation for unconventional tactics, had been given command of the Harbinger for a reason. His ability to think outside the box and his understanding of the ship's true potential made him the perfect candidate to lead its missions. As he surveyed the star-filled expanse from the bridge, he knew their first true test was approaching. While patrolling the edge of human space, the Harbinger detected a fleet of alien ships entering their territory. These were the Zarnok, a warlike species that had never been defeated in battle. The Zarnok ships were sleek, bristling with advanced weaponry, and designed for speed and agility. As the alien fleet approached, their commander, Zelnar, laughed at the sight of the human warship, considering it no threat. "Pathetic," Zelnar scoffed, watching the Harbinger on his view screen. "They send this ancient relic to face us?" Ethan watched the Zarnok fleet from his command chair, his expression calm and focused. "Athena, power down the main systems. Let's see if they take the bait." "Powering down, Commander," Athena's smooth, synthetic voice responded. The Harbinger's lights dimmed and its engines went silent, making it appear as if it were a derelict vessel. The Zarnok, confident in their superiority, closed in on the seemingly helpless ship. As they prepared to fire, Ethan gave the order. "Athena, activate the hidden systems. Full power to all weapons." The Harbinger sprang to life. Panels slid open to reveal concealed plasma cannons and missile launchers. Energy shields flared to life, and the ship's engines roared back into action. The Zarnok fleet was caught off guard as the Harbinger unleashed a devastating barrage, cutting through their ranks with precision and ferocity. The first battle was over before it began. The Zarnok ships, unprepared for such a fierce counterattack, were either destroyed or forced to retreat. Zelnar, his confidence shattered, watched in disbelief as his fleet was decimated. "This isn't over," he growled, vowing to return with a larger force. Ethan knew the Zarnok wouldn't give up easily. As the Harbinger continued its patrol, they received intelligence about a possible ambush. The Zarnok, humiliated by their defeat, were gathering reinforcements to strike back. Ethan decided to turn the tables. "Prepare for a counter-ambush," Ethan ordered. "We'll lure them in and hit them where it hurts." The Harbinger set a course for a nearby asteroid field, a perfect place to hide and wait for the Zarnok. The crew worked quickly, positioning mines and setting up decoys to confuse the enemy. As they finished their preparations, the Zarnok fleet arrived, more numerous and heavily armed than before. Zelnar, determined to crush the humans, led the charge. "Destroy that ship and show no mercy." The Zarnok ships advanced, firing at the decoys and mines. As they closed in on the Harbinger's position, Ethan gave the signal. The hidden mines exploded, causing chaos among the Zarnok ranks. The Harbinger emerged from the asteroid field, its weapons blazing. The ensuing battle was intense. The Zarnok fought fiercely, but the Harbinger's advanced systems and Ethan's strategic brilliance gave the humans the upper hand. One by one, the Zarnok ships fell, and the remnants of their fleet were forced to retreat once again. As the last Zarnok ship fled, Ethan allowed himself a small smile. "Message to all ships. The Harbinger stands strong. We will not be intimidated." The victory was significant, but Ethan knew this was just the beginning. The Zarnok were relentless, and more battles lay ahead. Yet with the Harbinger's true capabilities still hidden from most, they held a crucial advantage in the ongoing war. Word of the Harbinger's victories against the Zarnok spread quickly across the galaxy. Among those who took notice were the Drekken, a peaceful but technologically advanced alien race that had remained neutral in most conflicts. Their leader, Lorak, saw potential in an alliance with humanity, believing that together they could stand against the Zarnok threat. Ethan received a message from the Drekken High Council, requesting a meeting to discuss a possible alliance. He agreed, knowing that forming alliances would be crucial in the battles to come. The Harbinger set a course for the Drekken homeworld, a lush planet known for its towering crystal cities and advanced technology. Upon arrival, Ethan and his diplomatic team were greeted by Lorak and other members of the Drekken High Council. The meeting took place in a grand hall, adorned with shimmering crystals that reflected the sunlight, casting rainbows across the room. "Commander Brooks," Lorak began, his voice calm and measured, "we have heard of your victories against the Zarnok. We believe that an alliance between our races could be mutually beneficial. We can provide technological support and intelligence, while you offer your military prowess." Ethan nodded, appreciating Lorak's straightforwardness. "We need all the help we can get. The Zarnok are relentless, and their attacks are becoming more frequent. An alliance with the Drekken would strengthen our defenses and give us a fighting chance." The discussions continued for several hours, with both sides outlining their terms and expectations. By the end of the meeting, an agreement was reached. The Drekken would provide advanced shield technology and intelligence on Zarnok movements, while humanity would lead the military efforts against their common enemy. As Ethan and his team prepared to leave, Lorak approached him. "Commander, there is something you should know. We have reason to believe that the Zarnok have infiltrated our ranks. Be cautious and trust no one completely." Ethan thanked Lorak for the warning, his mind already racing with thoughts of potential espionage and sabotage. The road ahead would be fraught with danger, but with the Drekken as allies, they had a better chance of surviving the coming storm. Back aboard the Harbinger, Ethan briefed his senior officers on the new alliance and Lorak's warning about possible Zarnok spies. Lieutenant Maya Chen, the ship's chief intelligence officer, took the lead in devising a counter-espionage plan to root out any infiltrators and protect their critical operations. "Commander," Maya began, "if the Zarnok have spies within the Drekken, it's likely they've tried to infiltrate our ranks as well. We need to be vigilant and proactive. I suggest we start by tightening security protocols and monitoring communications for any suspicious activity." Ethan agreed. "Do whatever it takes to ensure our operations remain secure. We can't afford any leaks, especially with the Drekken providing us with sensitive intelligence." Over the next few weeks, Maya and her team worked tirelessly to uncover any potential spies. They conducted background checks, surveillance, and set up traps to lure out anyone passing information to the enemy. It wasn't long before their efforts paid off. One evening, Maya intercepted a coded transmission from a junior officer, Lieutenant Renshaw, who had been acting suspiciously. The transmission was being sent to an unknown location outside human space. Maya and her team decrypted the message, revealing detailed information about the Harbinger's defenses and upcoming missions. Ethan was furious, but remained composed. "Bring Renshaw to the interrogation room. We need to find out how deep this goes." Under intense questioning, Renshaw eventually cracked, revealing that he had been blackmailed by the Zarnok to provide intelligence in exchange for his family's safety. While it was clear that Renshaw was coerced, the damage he had done could not be overlooked. He was court-martialed and sentenced to life imprisonment. With the immediate threat neutralized, Maya continued her efforts to secure their communications and identify any further threats. The incident had shaken the crew, but it also strengthened their resolve. They knew the stakes were high, and they were determined to protect their ship and their mission at all costs. During a joint operation with the Drekken to scout a potential Zarnok stronghold, disaster struck. A traitor within the Drekken ranks had revealed critical intelligence to the Zarnok, leading to a surprise attack on a human colony. The Harbinger was dispatched to defend the colony, engaging in a fierce battle that tested its defenses and Ethan's leadership. As the Harbinger dropped out of hyperspace near the colony, they were met with a chaotic scene. Zarnok warships bombarded the colony's defenses, and fires raged on the planet's surface. The colony's distress signals filled the comms, pleading for immediate assistance. "Commander, the colony is under heavy attack," Athena reported. "Their defenses won't hold much longer." Ethan's eyes narrowed. "All hands to battle stations. We need to buy the colony time to evacuate and repel these attackers." The Harbinger surged forward, its weapons blazing. The initial clash was brutal, with the Zarnok warships focusing their fire on the human vessel. Despite the Harbinger's advanced shields and weaponry, the sheer number of enemy ships made the battle a daunting challenge. Ethan directed his crew with precision, employing hit-and-run tactics to exploit the Harbinger's hidden strengths. Plasma cannons and missile launchers unleashed devastating volleys, taking down Zarnok ships one by one. The crew worked seamlessly, their training and dedication evident in every maneuver. As the battle raged on, Ethan received a transmission from the colony's governor. "Commander Brooks, we're evacuating the civilians, but we need more time. Please, hold them off a little longer." "We're doing everything we can, Governor," Ethan replied. "Just get those people to safety." Amidst the chaos, an urgent message came from Lorak. "Ethan, we've identified the traitor within our ranks. It's High Counselor Yarrick. He's been feeding information to the Zarnok in exchange for promises of power." Ethan's heart sank. "Understood. We'll deal with him later. Right now, we need to survive this battle." With renewed determination, Ethan led the Harbinger in a daring assault on the Zarnok flagship. The ship's hidden energy weapon, a powerful beam cannon, charged up and fired, slicing through the enemy vessel's shields and hull. The flagship exploded in a brilliant flash, sending shockwaves through the Zarnok fleet. The remaining Zarnok ships, demoralized by the loss of their leader, began to retreat. The Harbinger pursued them, ensuring they would not regroup and launch another attack. The colony was saved, but the cost had been high. As the battle wound down, Ethan received a final transmission from the colony. "Thank you, Commander Brooks. We owe you our lives." Ethan nodded, exhausted but relieved. "We'll be there to help with the rebuilding. Stay strong." Back aboard the Harbinger, Ethan and his crew took stock of their losses and began repairs. The betrayal within the Drekken ranks had been a harsh reminder of the complexities of war. But with their new allies and the Harbinger's unmatched capabilities, humanity had proven they could hold their own against any threat. The war was far from over, but hope remained, burning bright like the stars that guided their way. As the Harbinger continued its patrols and missions, the crew became increasingly adept at utilizing the ship's hidden strengths. The battle to defend the colony had shown the importance of their advanced technology and strategic deception. Yet Ethan knew that they had only scratched the surface of the Harbinger's true potential. One evening, while reviewing reports in his quarters, Ethan received an urgent message from Dr. Ilara Quinn, the ship's chief engineer and one of the few people who knew the Harbinger inside and out. "Commander, I've discovered something incredible," Ilara said, her voice tinged with excitement. "There's a hidden power source within the ship that we haven't tapped into yet. It's a quantum reactor, capable of generating immense amounts of energy. If we can activate it, the Harbinger could become even more formidable." Ethan leaned forward, intrigued. "What do we need to do to activate it?" Ilara explained that the reactor was safeguarded by multiple layers of encryption and security protocols. It was designed to be a last resort power source, only to be used in the direst of circumstances. However, with the Zarnok threat looming larger than ever, Ethan decided it was time to unlock the reactor's potential. Over the next few days, Ilara and her engineering team worked tirelessly to decrypt the reactor's security systems. They faced numerous challenges, but their determination and expertise eventually paid off. The reactor roared to life, sending a surge of power throughout the ship. The effects were immediate and profound. The Harbinger's shields became nearly impenetrable. Its weapon systems operated at peak efficiency, and the ship's speed and maneuverability increased dramatically. With this new power at their disposal, Ethan felt a renewed sense of confidence. Their first test came soon enough. While on a reconnaissance mission near a suspected Zarnok stronghold, the Harbinger detected a massive enemy fleet. Instead of retreating, Ethan decided to engage and test their new capabilities. As the Zarnok ship surrounded them, the Harbinger's enhanced systems sprang into action. The ship's energy weapon, now supercharged by the quantum reactor, fired devastating beams that cut through the enemy vessels like a hot knife through butter. The Zarnok, unprepared for such overwhelming force, were quickly routed. Ethan watched the battle unfold from the bridge, his confidence growing with each victory. "All hands, excellent work. We've shown the Zarnok that we are not to be underestimated. This is just the beginning." With their recent victories, the Harbinger and its crew had earned a reputation as formidable defenders of humanity. This reputation opened doors to new alliances, and Ethan received an invitation to a diplomatic summit with the Valtorians, a race known for their neutrality and technological prowess. The Valtorian homeworld, Valtor Prime, was a marvel of advanced engineering and environmental harmony. Towering spires made of shimmering metal and glass rose from lush green landscapes. The Valtorians had mastered the art of blending technology with nature, creating a utopia that stood in stark contrast to the war-torn regions of space. Ethan, along with his diplomatic team and representatives from the Drekken, arrived on Valtor Prime. They were greeted by High Counselor Nyla, a respected leader known for her wisdom and strategic acumen. "Commander Brooks, welcome to Valtor Prime," Nyla said with a warm smile. "We have heard much about your exploits and the capabilities of the Harbinger. We are eager to discuss how our races might work together." Ethan nodded, appreciating Nyla's hospitality. "Thank you, High Counselor. The Zarnok threat is growing, and we believe that an alliance with the Valtorians could tip the balance in our favor." The discussions were intense and detailed, covering military strategy, technological exchanges, and mutual defense pacts. The Valtorians were impressed by the Harbinger's hidden power and Ethan's tactical brilliance, but they were cautious, valuing their neutrality and independence. During a private meeting, Nyla voiced her concerns to Ethan. "Commander, while we see the value in an alliance, we must consider the long-term implications. The Zarnok are a formidable enemy, and aligning with you could draw us into a prolonged conflict." Ethan understood her hesitation. "High Counselor, the Zarnok are a threat to all civilizations. If we don't stand together now, we may not have the opportunity later. The Harbinger has proven that we can fight back, but we need allies to sustain the fight." Nyla considered his words carefully. "Very well, Commander. We will join your alliance, but on the condition that we work together to find a lasting solution to the Zarnok threat. Our resources and technology are at your disposal." With the Valtorians on their side, the alliance was stronger than ever. The combined forces of humanity, the Drekken, and the Valtorians prepared for the next phase of their campaign against the Zarnok, knowing that unity and cooperation would be their greatest weapons. In retaliation for their recent defeats, the Zarnok launched a massive counterattack on multiple human and allied worlds. The Harbinger and its newly formed alliance fleet were dispatched to intercept them, resulting in a series of intense space battles. Ethan's tactical genius and the ship's unique abilities were put to the ultimate test. As the Allied fleet approached the Zarnok's main offensive force, the scale of the enemy armada became clear. Hundreds of sleek, menacing warships filled the void, their weapons bristling with deadly intent. The Harbinger took point, its quantum reactor humming with barely contained energy. "Prepare for engagement," Ethan ordered, his voice steady and authoritative. "We need to draw their fire and create an opening for our allies to strike." The battle began with a furious exchange of fire. The Zarnok ships unleashed a torrent of plasma and energy weapons, but the Harbinger's enhanced shields held firm. The ship's advanced targeting systems pinpointed weak spots in the enemy formations, allowing them to strike with deadly precision. Throughout the chaos, Ethan coordinated with Lorak and Nyla, using their combined strengths to outmaneuver the Zarnok. The Drekken provided crucial intelligence on enemy movements, while the Valtorians' advanced drones and support ships bolstered the fleet's defenses. Despite their initial success, the sheer number of Zarnok ships threatened to overwhelm the Allied forces. The Harbinger was pushed to its limits, its hull groaning under the sustained barrage. Ethan knew they needed to make a decisive move to turn the tide. "Athena, initiate the quantum drive," Ethan commanded. "We need to hit their command ship and disrupt their coordination." The Harbinger's engines flared to life, propelling the ship forward at incredible speed. The crew braced themselves as they weaved through the enemy lines, dodging fire and returning shots with lethal accuracy. Their target was the Zarnok command ship, a massive vessel at the heart of the enemy fleet. As they closed in, Ethan ordered the ship's energy weapon to charge. The beam cannon, now fully powered by the quantum reactor, unleashed a blinding blast that tore through the command ship's shields and hull. The Zarnok vessel exploded in a brilliant flash, sending shockwaves through the enemy fleet. As they closed in, Ethan ordered the ship's energy weapon to charge. The beam cannon, now fully powered by the quantum reactor, unleashed a blinding blast that tore through the command ship's shields and hull. The Zarnok vessel exploded in a brilliant flash, sending shockwaves through the enemy fleet. With their command ship destroyed, the Zarnok forces faltered. The Allied fleet seized the opportunity, pressing the attack and driving the enemy into a full retreat. The battle was won, but the cost had been high. Several Allied ships had been lost, and the Harbinger itself bore the scars of the intense conflict. As the Allied fleet regrouped, Ethan received a message from Lorak. "Commander, your leadership has once again saved us all, but we must remain vigilant. The Zarnok will not rest until we are defeated." Ethan nodded, his resolve unshaken. "We've bought ourselves some time, but the war is far from over. We'll keep fighting, and we'll find a way to end this threat once and for all." The victory had strengthened the alliance and demonstrated the power of the Harbinger, but Ethan knew that their greatest challenges still lay ahead. The Zarnok were relentless, and the path to peace would be long and arduous. Yet with unity and determination, they would continue to defend their worlds and fight for a brighter future. Realizing they could not win through brute force alone, the Zarnok resorted to sabotage. Their plan was to target the Harbinger with a covert boarding party, aiming to destroy it from within. Disguised as a cargo ship seeking refuge, the Zarnok infiltrators managed to slip past the Allied fleet's defenses and dock with the Harbinger. Ethan was in the middle of a strategy meeting with Lorak and Nyla when the alarm sounded. "Commander, we have unauthorized personnel on board," Athena reported, her voice urgent. "Multiple breaches detected. Security teams are responding, but they're heavily armed." Ethan immediately sprang into action. "All hands, this is not a drill. We have enemy boarders on the ship. Secure all critical areas and prepare for close-quarters combat." The Harbinger's corridors erupted in chaos as the crew engaged the Zarnok infiltrators. The invaders were elite warriors, equipped with advanced weaponry and cloaking devices that made them nearly invisible. Despite the initial surprise, the crew fought back with determination and ingenuity. Lieutenant Maya Chen, leading one of the security teams, utilized the ship's internal sensors to track the infiltrators' movements. "They're heading for engineering," she reported. "If they reach the reactor, they could disable the ship." Ethan made a quick decision. "Maya, take a team and intercept them. We can't let them sabotage the reactor." As Maya and her team moved to intercept the Zarnok, Ethan coordinated the defense from the bridge. He deployed additional security teams to critical points, using the ship's automated defenses to slow the invaders' advance. Despite their best efforts, the Zarnok continued to press forward, their superior technology giving them an edge. Maya's team reached the engineering deck just in time to confront the infiltrators. A fierce firefight ensued, with plasma bolts and energy beams lighting up the dimly lit corridors. Maya fought with precision and bravery, her team matching the Zarnok's ferocity with sheer determination. "Commander, we've engaged the infiltrators in engineering," Maya reported over the comms. "We're holding them off, but we need reinforcements." Ethan responded immediately. "Hang tight, Maya. Reinforcements are on the way. We can't let them take the reactor." As the battle raged, Ethan knew he needed to turn the tide. He ordered Athena to activate the ship's internal defense systems, including automated turrets and security drones. The additional firepower helped to push back the infiltrators, giving Maya's team the edge they needed. With a final push, Maya and her team managed to neutralize the last of the Zarnok infiltrators. The Harbinger was secure, but the cost had been high. Several crew members had been injured or killed in the defense of the ship. Ethan breathed a sigh of relief. "Excellent work, everyone. We've repelled the invaders, but we need to remain vigilant. The Zarnok will try anything to bring us down." With their forces dwindling, the Zarnok launched a final desperate assault on Earth itself. The Harbinger and its allies rallied to defend humanity's homeworld in what would be the most significant battle of the war. The Allied fleet assembled in Earth's orbit, preparing for the onslaught. As the Zarnok armada approached, the tension on the bridge of the Harbinger was palpable. Ethan stood at the center, his expression steely. "This is it, everyone. We fought hard to get here, and now we must defend our home. All ships, prepare for engagement." The battle began with a colossal exchange of firepower. The Zarnok ships, numbering in the hundreds, unleashed a barrage of plasma and energy weapons. The Allied fleet responded in kind, their combined firepower lighting up the darkness of space. The Harbinger took point, its advanced shields absorbing the initial onslaught. Ethan directed his crew with precision, using the ship's unique capabilities to create openings for Allied ships to strike. The quantum reactor provided an edge, allowing the Harbinger to sustain its intense rate of fire and maintain its defenses. Ethan's voice rang out over the comms. "All ships, focus fire on the enemy's command vessels. We need to disrupt their coordination." The Allied fleet executed Ethan's orders flawlessly, targeting the Zarnok's command ships with devastating accuracy. The Harbinger's energy weapon fired repeatedly, slicing through enemy hulls and causing massive explosions. Despite their numerical advantage, the Zarnok struggled to maintain their formation. In the midst of the chaos, Ethan received a message from Lorak. "Commander, we've detected a massive energy buildup on the Zarnok flagship. It appears they're preparing a superweapon. If they fire it, Earth will be destroyed." Ethan's heart pounded. "Athena, calculate the coordinates of the Zarnok flagship. We need to stop that weapon." The Harbinger altered its course, speeding towards the Zarnok flagship. As they approached, the ship's sensors picked up the energy buildup, confirming Lorak's warning. The Zarnok flagship, a massive, ominous vessel, loomed ahead, its weapon charging. Ethan knew they had to act fast. "All power to weapons. Target the flagship's weapon array and fire at will." The Harbinger unleashed a furious barrage, targeting the critical points of the Zarnok flagship. The energy weapon fired a concentrated beam, striking the flagship's weapon array and causing a chain reaction. The resulting explosion was immense, engulfing the flagship in a blinding light. The Zarnok fleet, witnessing the destruction of their flagship and superweapon, began to falter. The Allied forces pressed the attack, driving the remaining enemy ships into a full retreat. The battle was over, and Earth was saved. As the Allied fleet regrouped, cheers erupted across the comms. Ethan allowed himself a moment of relief. "We did it! Earth is safe, thanks to all of you." With the Zarnok flagship destroyed and their forces in disarray, the tide of the war had turned. The Allied forces, now emboldened by their victory, launched a series of counteroffensives to reclaim occupied territories and push the Zarnok back. The Harbinger played a pivotal role in these operations, its reputation as a symbol of hope and resilience growing with each battle. Ethan knew that the victory at Earth was not the end of the war, but a crucial turning point. The Zarnok were weakened but not defeated. To secure a lasting peace, the Allies needed to strike at the heart of the Zarnok Empire. During a strategic meeting with Lorak and Nyla, Ethan outlined his plan. "We've dealt the Zarnok a significant blow, but we need to maintain the momentum. Our next target is their homeworld. If we can take it, we can force them to negotiate peace." Lorak agreed. "Our intelligence suggests that the Zarnok leadership is regrouping on their homeworld. A decisive strike could cripple their command structure." Nyla added, "We'll need to coordinate our forces carefully. The Zarnok will be desperate, and their defenses will be formidable." The Allied fleet assembled for the final push. The journey to the Zarnok homeworld was fraught with danger, as they navigated through hostile space and faced numerous skirmishes. The Harbinger led the way, its crew determined and focused. As they approached the Zarnok homeworld, the scale of the enemy defenses became apparent. Massive fortresses and orbital platforms guarded the planet, and the Zarnok fleet, though diminished, was still a formidable force. Ethan addressed the Allied fleet. "This is it. We've come this far together, and now we face the final challenge. We fight not just for ourselves, but for all the civilizations that the Zarnok have threatened. Let's end this." The battle began with a coordinated assault on the Zarnok defenses. The Harbinger spearheaded the attack, its weapons blazing. The Allied fleet followed, their combined firepower overwhelming the enemy fortifications. Despite fierce resistance, the Allies pressed on, determined to reach the planet's surface. Ethan directed the Harbinger to lead a strike team to the Zarnok command center. As they descended into the atmosphere, they encountered heavy anti-aircraft fire. The ship's shields absorbed the brunt of the attack, allowing the strike team to land and begin their assault on the ground. The fighting was intense, with the Zarnok defending their home with desperation. Ethan and his team pushed forward, navigating through the labyrinthine corridors of the command center. They faced fierce opposition, but their determination and training carried them through. Finally, they reached the Zarnok command chamber. The Zarnok leader, a towering figure clad in imposing armor, stood before them. "You dare invade our home?" he snarled. Ethan stepped forward, his resolve unshaken. "This war ends now. Surrender, and we can discuss terms for peace." The Zarnok leader laughed, a bitter sound. "Peace? After all this, you will find no peace here." The final confrontation was brutal. Ethan and his team fought with everything they had, matching the Zarnok leader's ferocity with their own. In the end, Ethan's determination and tactical brilliance prevailed. The Zarnok leader fell, and the command center was secured. With the fall of their leader and the capture of their homeworld, the remaining Zarnok forces were left in disarray. The Allied fleet secured the planet, and a ceasefire was declared. The war was over, and humanity, along with its allies, had emerged victorious. The victory had come at a great cost, but it had also forged strong bonds between the Allied civilizations. As peace talks began, Ethan and his crew knew that their fight had paved the way for a brighter future. The Harbinger, once mocked and underestimated, had become a symbol of hope and resilience, and its legacy would endure for generations to come. The war with the Zarnok was finally over, but the path to rebuilding and securing a lasting peace was just beginning. The Allied forces worked tirelessly to stabilize the Zarnok homeworld, ensuring that the remnants of their military could not regroup and launch another attack. Ethan and his crew aboard the Harbinger found themselves at the forefront of these efforts, tasked with overseeing the transition and helping to establish a new order. The atmosphere on the Harbinger was a mix of relief and exhaustion. The crew had endured countless battles and had lost many friends along the way. Yet they remained steadfast in their commitment to securing a better future for all the civilizations involved. Ethan sat in his quarters, reflecting on the journey that had brought them to this point. He knew that the peace they had fought so hard to achieve was fragile and required careful nurturing. His thoughts were interrupted by a chime from the door. "Come in," he said, looking up. The door slid open, revealing Maya Chen, who now carried the weight of her role as Chief Intelligence Officer with a quiet confidence. "Commander, the council meeting is about to start. They're waiting for you." Ethan nodded, standing up and straightening his uniform. "Let's not keep them waiting." The council meeting was held in a grand chamber on the Zarnok homeworld, now serving as a neutral ground for discussions. Representatives from humanity, the Drekken, the Valtorians, and even a few Zarnok, who had chosen to work towards peace, sat around a large, circular table. High Counselor Nyla began the meeting. "We are here today to discuss the future of our alliance and the steps we need to take to ensure that the Zarnok threat is permanently neutralized." Lorak added, "We must also focus on rebuilding the planets and civilizations affected by the war. This alliance was forged in battle, but it must now be strengthened in peace." Ethan spoke next. "The Harbinger and its crew stand ready to assist in any way possible. We've seen firsthand the devastation this war has caused, and we are committed to helping rebuild and maintain the peace we fought for." The discussions were detailed and extensive, covering everything from security protocols to economic support for war-torn planets. The Zarnok representatives, though few, pledged to assist in the rebuilding efforts and to work towards integrating their society with the allied races. As the meeting progressed, a sense of unity and determination filled the chamber. The challenges ahead were immense, but there was a collective resolve to overcome them. After the meeting, Ethan walked through the bustling streets of the Zarnok capital, now filled with a mix of races working together. The sight was a testament to the possibility of coexistence and the power of collaboration. Back on the Harbinger, the crew gathered for a moment of reflection. Ethan addressed them, his voice filled with pride and gratitude. "We've been through hell and back together. This ship and all of you have shown the galaxy what humanity is capable of. We've turned the tide of war and now have the chance to build a lasting peace. None of this would have been possible without your bravery and dedication." The crew cheered, their spirits lifted by the sense of accomplishment and the promise of a brighter future. As the days turned into weeks, the Harbinger continued its mission, not as a vessel of war, but as a beacon of hope and cooperation. The ship and its crew played a vital role in the reconstruction efforts, from rebuilding infrastructure to providing medical aid and support. Ethan often found himself thinking about the sacrifices made along the way. The faces of fallen comrades haunted his dreams, but their memory fueled his resolve to honor their legacy by ensuring that their fight had not been in vain. In time, the scars of war began to heal, and the alliance blossomed into a formidable coalition dedicated to peace and progress. The Harbinger's reputation as a symbol of resilience and unity spread throughout the galaxy, inspiring other races to join the cause. Ethan stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. The journey had been long and arduous, but the destination was worth every struggle. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, it was filled with hope and promise. The Harbinger and its crew had proven that even in the darkest times, humanity could rise above, using not just their strength, but their ingenuity and spirit to forge a better world. And as they continued their mission, they knew that they were not alone, but part of a greater whole, united in their quest for peace and prosperity. In the end, the Harbinger had become more than just a warship. It had become a legend, a testament to the enduring power of hope and the unbreakable spirit of those who dared to dream of a better tomorrow.